call to order the Select Board meeting on July 11th, 2023 at 6:30 p.m. This meeting is being held in person and/or remotely as an alternate means of public access pursuant to Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023 and all other applicable laws temporarily amending certain provisions of the open meeting law. You are hereby advised that this meeting and all communications during this meeting may be recorded by the Town of Hingham in accordance with the open meeting law. If any participant wishes to record this meeting, please notify the chair at the start of the meeting in accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20F, so that the chair may inform all other participants of said recording. Is anyone else recording the meeting? Okay, just to note for the record, participating today, myself, Liz Klein, Chair, Joe Fisher, and Bill Ramsey. First on the agenda is executive session under Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A6, regarding potential acquisition of real estate by the Hingham Affordable Housing Trust under Town of Hingham General Bylaw, Article 39, Section 2A17. Before I entertain a motion to go into executive session under item 2 of the agenda, I hereby declare that discussion of this agenda item in an open session may have a detrimental effect on the negotiating position of the town.
So with that, I make a motion to enter executive session under Mass General Laws, Chapter 30A, Section 21A6, regarding potential acquisition of real estate by the Hingham Affordable Housing Trust under Town of Hingham General Bylaw, Article 39, Section 2A17. The board will reconvene in open session after executive session.
Roll call vote.
Second.
Oh, sorry. Roll call, Joe?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. So we will go into executive session and be back soon. just wasn't in the yellow folder and we didn't.
Yeah, right. That's where I looked too. But it also didn't have the new language at the timing, so.
Yeah. Hello. Hi, how are you? Ready?
Yes.
You ready, Bill? You ready? We recording?
Yeah, are you ready to go?
I'm ready.
Recording in progress.
All right. We good? All right, we're returning to open session at 7:03 p.m. And next on the agenda is the pledge. So if you're willing and able, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Next on the agenda is approval of minutes. You ready to proceed?
I am.
Joe, Bill?
So I'll move to approve the minutes dated June 27th, 2023.
Roll call. Joe?
Aye.
Bill? And I'm an aye as well. Passes unanimously. Next on the agenda is discussion and potential vote regarding a regulatory agreement for 2 deed-restricted single-family homes located at 302 and 304 Whiting Street. We have Jennifer Oram with us. Do you want to come up? Do we have Noreen as well? Hi, Noreen. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Do you want to start, Jen?
Certainly. This property was approved by a comprehensive permit, I believe 3 years ago, Noreen, and is now close to completion. What's left to do are some work with DOT, which are part of the conditions of the comprehensive permit. Those are proceeding. Noreen actually sent me an update today. So the next steps are to get this regulatory agreement signed and send off to what was formerly known as DHCD and has a new long name that Lorraine can tell. And so we need to send this off so that the house will go on deed restriction with a regulatory agreement for affordable housing on our SHI. It's actually already on our SHI. It went on when the building permits were pulled.
Okay. So this is just a formality in the
Formality
process, really,
so
right?
that it gets recorded.
Okay. And I know this has been a long time coming. I think it was 2018 when we started this. So thank you for all of your work. And thank you, Noreen, for your partnership and patience with this process. Joe, do you have any questions?
Yeah, who's the monitoring agent for this property?
We all are, actually. It would be, I had to get the full name, but formerly DHCD, the town of Hingham, as well as Habitat for Humanity. So all three monitor the property.
And I know it's in there. Who was the developer?
The developer was Habitat for Humanity. And
But, I mean, they subbed it out, I'm assuming.
I let Noreen speak to that. We went on site and pulled
okay.
up walls, and it was all volunteers. They do have professionals that
Right,
come in,
okay.
but generally.
Oh, I didn't know if there was subs who were involved in.
Noreen?
They're involved, anything that's trade related, electricians, anything requiring a license, we have licensed plumbers, electricians, we have a licensed, construction project manager, a lot of the cosmetic parts, anything that can be done by volunteers is done by volunteers.
That's,
So, we sub our Habitat, and then is the contractor, we sub out.
yep. Great. No other questions? Thank you.
Bill, do you have any questions?
No questions. I know this has been a long time in the making, so great to see it move forward. Thank you, Jennifer and Noreen, for all your hard work.
Thank you for your patience.
Any questions or comments from members of the public? Okay, seeing none, I'm ready to take a motion.
I move,
Make a motion authorize the town administrator to execute the regulatory agreement for 2 deed-restricted single-family homes located at 302 and 304 Whiting Street, contingent upon final approval by the Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities.
second.
Roll call vote. Joe?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. Passes unanimously. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Noreen.
Thank you.
Good luck in these final days here. Next on the agenda is to consider approval of the issuance of a special one-day wine and malt beverages license to Untold Brewing for Hingham Summerfest to be held on Saturday, July 29th, 2023, from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. We have Mike Dwyer. You want to come up to the podium, please? And I believe we have Sergeant Kilroy with us as well.
Hey everyone, Mike Dyer, 156 Union Street here in Hingham, co-owner of Untold Brewing. Back again.
Yes.
You're a regular.
Yes, thank you.
Just put me on the regular schedule. Excited to be here this evening as a component of the Hingham Summerfest, which is scheduled for Saturday, July 29th. I am here in partnership with the Hingham Downtown Association, which is kind of the organizer of the full event, seeking a one-day malt and wine beverage license to set up a small contained beer garden as a part of the music and food and kind of entertainment package that they've put together for South Street. Very similar to our beer garden over at the Derby Street shops. This will be staffed entirely by Untold Brewing staff, tip certified. We will be basically cracking cans of Untold beer. There'll be, we're not using plastic cups, so out of cans to kind of limit waste on site. Everything will be single stream recycled off of that. In accordance with kind of working with the Downtown Association, there'll be barricades at corner of Main and South, and then further down roughly where just kind of past the fencing there where the snug is. I'm sure Sergeant Kilroy has some specifics about where he wants it, which we will obviously comply with. No alcohol beyond this point signage will be set up at all points of egress. And then a portion of proceeds from all purchases will be going back to the Hingham Downtown Association.
Excellent.
Hours of operation, 12 to 5, last call at 4:15 p.m. We will kind of start setup at 12. Realistically, probably won't be serving until closer to 12:30.
Great. This is a nice addition to, this is the summer sidewalk sales, correct?
Exactly.
Excellent. Did you want to add anything, Lynn?
Yeah. I just
Do you mind
wanted to
coming to
say-
the podium? Because they won't be able to hear you at home.
So our summer sidewalk sale has been an annual event for 18 years. And it's usually Thursdays and Fridays, which are our busiest days. And Saturday it's kind of lackluster. So we wanted to do something really fun and exciting and raise the bar a little bit. So we want to do this kind of block party, music festival, close the road down. We got Aldous Collins, which is a great rock band in the South Shore, has a huge draw. We have someone opening up for him. We're going to set up a stage. We've got a couple food trucks. We got Clandestine Kitchen and Peel Pizza, and then Untold Brewing. So we're just super excited about this event.
Excellent. Well, thank you for being so creative about it.
Trying.
It sounds really fun. And I know that you've been working with Sergeant Kilroy, and the chief has signed off on this plan as well. Obviously, there won't be any parking on that section of South Street.
Right.
The sidewalks will be accessible, though?
Right. Yes.
Okay. Will there be like clothing racks on the sidewalk as well?
Not down on that area,
Okay.
but in other parts of
Okay.
downtown, but not on that one-way section of South will not.
Okay. Obviously, we want to be conscious of the ADA compliance there and accessibility. But great, sounds really fun. Thank
Great,
you.
thank you.
Joe, do you have any questions?
It does sound great. Am I correct? This is all on town land?
That is correct.
Great.
To that end, Joe, I'll be issuing the use license for the town property, that temporary use license.
Yep. And what's your estimate in terms of attendance?
I don't don't know that because we've never done anything like this before. We've never had alcohol downtown. We've never had it closed off like this. In terms of like Christmas in the Square, we have what?
Right.
7,000 people, but I think this is a little bit different.
Yeah.
So I don't have an answer to that.
And as I see the application, there's not a rain date for this. This is
No.
rain or shine.
That's right.
We'll go for the shine.
Yes.
Exactly. We'll call it that morning if it's pouring rain, so
Okay. No other questions. This looks really like a wonderful opportunity, so thank you.
thank you.
Yes, and it will bring people to downtown, which is wonderful and
That's-
benefits all the stores and merchants and restaurants
Yep.
downtown. So thank you.
That's the whole point.
Excellent. Bill, do you have any questions or comments?
Yeah, I think this is gonna be a great event. I think it's wonderful to add Untold to, an event that's already very popular in town. You get some great food trucks there. I like the idea of shutting down South Street, to have this. I think it's gonna be a great venue for it. So, good job, Lynn, putting it together. And also, Mike Dyer, congratulations on your big announcement today. Great news for your group.
Thank you very much, Bill.
Do you want to share?
How do you let that go?
Sorry.
Bill's he's an insider.
We announced that we are opening our third and largest location in Plymouth.
Wow, excellent.
Lease is done, a lot of construction stuff left to do, but that should be open later this year.
Excellent. Congrats.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for staying in Hingham.
Absolutely.
Any questions or comments from members of the public? Okay, seeing none, I'm ready to take a motion.
I'll move to approve the issuance of a special one-day wine and malt beverages license to Untold Brewing LLC for Hingham Summerfest to be held at the one-way intersection of South Street on Saturday, July 29th, 2023, from noon to 5 p.m.
Second.
Roll call vote. Joe?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. It passes unanimously. Excellent. Best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is to consider the request of National Grid to install and maintain approximately 2,095 feet of 8-inch gas main in Accord Pond Drive, connecting at the intersections of Gardner Street and Whiting Street. We have J.R. Fry, town engineer, with us. And is
Yes.
Mary Mulroney on? I don't-
J.O.'s on the right, he's coming in.
Okay.
Good evening. I'm gonna leave my video off and see if the connection stays a little more stable,
Okay,
if that's okay with the select board.
sure.
That question is, a request of National Grid to install and maintain approximately 2,095 feet of 8-inch gas main in Accord Pond Drive, connecting at the intersections of Gardner Street and Whiting Street. So it will run the entire length of Accord Pond Drive. The gas main will replace 2,085 feet of existing 4-inch coated steel, which was installed in 55 and 56, and 10 feet of 4-inch plastic, which was more recently installed probably due to a leak. And leaks are the primary reason that leaks, and I believe stabilizing their pressure in this area are the main reasons for this installation. The age of the advanced main is approximately 68 years old. The recommended, or the recommendations from engineering with respect to special provisions are generally, these are all the standard provisions. The work will be completed during the day, and they will be required to, after patching the trench, they will be required to return after a settling period and mill and infill the trench with fresh asphalt to restore the roadway. It's a reasonably long run, so I would expect that this work to take a decent amount of time, possibly a couple months of work.
Okay. And when's the
Are there
estimate?
any questions?
What's the estimated start time?
They have not contracted for this work. They were waiting for our grant of location.
Okay.
I would imagine, that if they are able to, they may move on this, end of summer, beginning of fall.
Okay. Okay, and the, it looks like the residents on Accord Pond have all been notified?
Is Ms. Mulroney available there?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know you were, I apologize. Come up to the podium. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Yes, they have been notified,
Okay,
the abutters.
excellent, excellent.
And when work starts, they'll be notified 2 weeks
Again.
prior to it as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I have heard feedback from this area of town, so certainly it's a priority, so thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have any questions, Joe?
Yeah, I just wanted to follow up on that. Do you have projections on the impact on the neighborhood in terms of traffic, noise? What can the neighbors expect?
They do it gradually. They don't just rip from one end to the other up.
Yeah.
They do it in piecework. But we're governed by the town of Hingham to decide, like, you know, what time we work. If we work from 8 to 4 or 7 to 3, whatever the town requires us to work, that's what we do.
JR, do you know what the time restrictions will be?
The time restrictions for this work are 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. And the impact to the residents is going to be normal construction. There will be some restriction within the 40 to 60 feet that they're working on any given day. And so, because of how this street is connected, residents who live on one end may choose to kind of circumnavigate and avoid the area of construction. Depending on the availability of details, they may choose to simply close down the work area and only let the people who live in the immediately impacted area enter the work zone. So in that case, you just want to be aware of where the work is occurring on your street and head to the other intersection.
And
Head to the opposite intersection away from them.
how will the neighbors know the answers to those questions? Where and when? Is it going to be flyers handed out or a posting? Or so if they want to avoid, an issue or they're
Sure, I think
go ahead.
for the longest stretch of the work, they're going to start at one end and continue to the other end.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
whichever end they start at, it'll be pretty clear on a day-to-day basis which way you'll want to drive.
Yep.
When
Okay,
it comes to the, and I can take another look at it, but if we do receive a number of complaints, and it's not clearly apparent from one end of the street, which way you can go without impacting or without going towards the construction, then we can request additional signage from National Grid, and they'll put that out. Just kind of indicating to any residents that are in the middle which way they should be going on a particular day.
yeah.
Would this have an impact on school buses? I don't know the bus routes, whether or not.
There are bus stops on both ends, the Gardner end and the Whiting Street end. So we will need to coordinate that. It sounds like this will move into the fall, so
Right. Have you coordinated with the school department? Or
I haven't made specific inquiry to the school department, but we will police generally let all the school buses through. That only requires, so if the school bus actually drives on a Fort Pond Drive, then, we'll be able to maintain a lane to allow the bus to pass.
Okay.
Yep.
I think it's probably more an issue of the kids just getting safely to
Exactly.
either end.
That's right. So the parents getting the kids to where they need to be. So can you just make sure that the school department is on the notice list? So they're aware.
Yep.
Great.
No other questions? Thank you.
Bill, do you have any questions or comments?
I appreciate the fact that the work is gonna be done during the daytime, it's great, thank you.
Any questions or comments from members of the public? Okay, seeing none. I'm ready to take a motion. Unless, Mary, did you want to add anything else?
No, just, there'll be details on the job,
Okay.
as many as the town
Right.
requires.
And,
So
and the questions I just asked,
I noted.
they're going to be
yeah.
same for the others. So if you could just address those as well. Okay.
Absolutely, yes. They're all, I just put like a walk zone for children.
Okay.
Right.
Just so that they, when it goes
Okay.
back.
Great. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Bill, do you want to do it?
I'll do this one, yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the request of National Grid to install and maintain approximately 2,095 feet of 8-inch gas main in Ackford Pond Drive, connecting at the intersection of Gardner Street and Whiting Street. The gas main in Ackford Pond Drive will originate at the intersection of the State Highway layout at Whiting Street and continue in southwesterly in Ackford Pond Drive to the limit of work at the intersection with Gardner Street. This approval is subject to the stipulations of the Department of Public Works as outlined in letter dated June 21st, 2023.
Second.
Roll call vote. Joe?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. Passes unanimously. Thank you. All right, we'll keep you up here, Mary. Next is to consider the request of National Grid to install and maintain approximately 1,700 feet of 2-inch gas main at Hawthorne Road, Sycamore Lane, and Holly Street. Do you want to describe this one, JR, or any changes? Anything significant versus the last one?
So in terms of the in terms of the proposed work, what it is it's a total of 1,700 feet of 2-inch main. 560 feet of this will be in Hawthorne Road, 510 feet will be in Sycamore Lane, and 630 feet will be in Holly Street. It replaces kind of a hodgepodge of pipe that was installed between 41 and 84. So between 82 and 39 years of age. This work will also be done today. The work will be coordinated to make sure that children can safely get to and from school bus stops, and there will be details on site to make sure that residents can all access their properties.
Okay, great.
This one has a few more dead ends, so you're not going to be able to avoid the construction on any given day. You'll probably have to pass it at one point or another.
Okay, understood. Why the difference, the 2-inch main as opposed to the 8-inch that we were talking about before?
I think it has to do with pressure and flow balancing in their system. So that 8-inch line is connecting to possibly a transmission main at Whiting Street,
Okay.
and then conveying flow back into the neighborhoods behind Fort Pond Drive. So my suspicion is that the Fort Pond Drive is a more significant system balancing improvement, whereas 2-inch plastic is the end of the line.
Okay.
And they don't need as much volume.
Got it. Thank you. Joe, any questions?
I see the next one is going to be 6-inch, so
Yes.
we're spanning the gamut. No, thank you for anticipating the other questions. And again, I notice that you've given notice to the neighbors for this hearing, so I'm sure if there are any issues, we can give them an opportunity to speak, but no other questions.
Bill, any questions?
A couple of comments to add here. The Bradley Woods neighborhood is highly populated with families and very young children. Also, the streets identified in the request, Sycamore Lane, Holly Street, and Hawthorne Road, are very narrow. Tough to get around if there's a vehicle parked on the side of the road, which is common to that neighborhood, people visiting houses. So I'm just gonna ask, National Grid and JR to be cognizant of the fact that you're gonna have a lot of young children, in the area, a lot of families in the area, and just be cognizant of that and take care to not disrupt the lifestyle of folks who reside in Bradley Woods.
Yes, thank you, Bill.
How long is the project gonna take?
I think you're probably looking at 6 weeks.
6 weeks starting when?
It depends on how they prioritize between the 3 different jobs that we're approving tonight. With that said, this is all smaller pipe. They may be able to procure that and get moving on this work a little bit quicker. So possibly before the end of summer.
Yeah, do you know, does the pipe run down the middle of the roadway, or is it off to the side? I'm wondering if the entire area being worked on is going to be impassable by vehicles and for people and residents. You know that?
So as a general rule, they will try to run it on one side of the road or the other, and not in the middle of the street. With that said, it's highly dependent on what you encounter in the ground. And so, depending on what they excavate out and identify, they may adjust their alignment in the field from one side of the road to the other. Now, with that said, they are generally required to maintain access, even if it's somewhat restricted. They're generally required to maintain access for all the residents, and especially with a priority towards emergency vehicles. One thing that we could request, based on the feedback I'm hearing, is that they maintain at the work area a couple of places so that they can provide quick cover to the trench if that's necessary to provide access.
Well, thank you for that. I would recommend that be added to one of the conditions. The lots in that neighborhood are very close to each other, so any work done in any one of those streets is probably going to prevent a resident from getting in and out of their driveway. So if we could order that as a condition to the project, I think the residents would appreciate that. So thank you.
I will amend the letter and send a copy to the select board, and yeah, I'll just add it as number 20.
Great, thanks, JR. I appreciate it.
Great. Thank you, JR. Thank you, Bill, for bringing that up. Mary, do you know the priority or the order of the projects?
Some of these are mandated by the state and they're overdue.
Okay.
So they will be a priority to be done
Okay.
ASAP. Yeah.
Do you do them all at the same time, though, or they have to be serially?
No, they could
Okay.
be done all at the same time
Okay.
if that was allowed. I don't know what the schedule looks like right now, but
Okay.
I know that they're lagging.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
And can I just make a note to the gentleman's concern is when they're on the street, they'll notify, like, we're gonna go down here tomorrow. So if somebody needed, the only thing would be an absolute emergency, like, you know, a child or somebody had to get out. But otherwise, they'll have your car moved out in the morning, moved down the street. And so, and again, the police details are there. And,
Okay.
yeah. So just to reassure the residents that they can go out of their
Yes,
homes.
yes.
Down the street, yeah.
Good,
Yeah,
thank
but
you.
I think Bill's concern was at nighttime when, you know, there's no one there, make sure things are covered so
Oh,
that,
yes,
right.
yes, yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, questions or comments from members of the public? I see one hand raised.
Hi,
Denise?
this is Denise Dockery. Sorry.
No, can you just state your
Can you hear me
address?
first of all?
We can hear you, thank you. Can you just state your address for the record, please?
Absolutely, and I apologize for not putting my last name on here. I couldn't figure out how to edit after I joined. So it's Denise Dockery, and I'm on 6 Holly.
Excellent.
So first, thank you to the select people for highlighting the unique layout of our neighborhood and the impact possibly on bus stops. We do have several little kids that are running rounds, and the only other concern that I really wanted to mention is the fact we also don't have sidewalks. So not only are those streets very thin in that if you have someone parked on one side, it really limits the flow, and we often have cars parked on the street, but all of our children are always in the streets because we have no sidewalks. So that is a significant concern during drop off and pickup, which the middle school is 10 minutes of 7, and for the elementary school, they drop off at 2:30, 2:40 in the afternoon. So I'm not sure if that can just be communicated to the on-site work people. But if we do drop down to one lane, or if a road is shut down completely, we just don't have a sidewalk alternative. And I just also, as a question, I wanted to confirm that the timeframe for daily work is the same that was discussed on the previous, which is 7 a.m. to, was it 5 p.m.?
That's correct, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Okay.
As a general rule, it won't be more than 40 hours per week. However, we give them a little bit of flexibility so that they can plan around intermittent events such as weather.
Oh, great, thank you. And last question is just regarding the notification. So thank you so much for sending that notification out. I was able to share with some people in the neighborhood. How far in advance will we be getting additional, like, is it gonna be a week ahead of work that we'll be getting additional information? It will be sent to the entire neighborhood, or is it only the affected streets?
Can you answer that, Mary?
Yes, notification will come out to the abutters 2 weeks prior to work starting.
Okay,
Okay,
all right, I appreciate this. Thank you very much.
excellent, thank you. Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, I mean, it's because of the unique nature of the subdivision itself, the Broadway subdivision. I'm gonna ask National Grid to send one out to everybody in the neighborhood, because everybody's gonna be impacted by it. The way those streets, even though Sycamore Lane and Hawthorne and Holly are kind of to the back of the subdivision, it's everybody kind of, it's all interconnected. One of the wonderful things about Bradleywood. But all Bradleywood Drive should be told as well, Hawthorne Drive. I think everybody in the neighborhood probably should be noticed. So JR, can you add that condition as well?
Will do.
Yeah,
They
and
were already notified.
it does look like they were notified, Bill. Juniper, Bradley Woods Drive.
Birch Circle.
Yeah, Juniper's like off a high part of the subdivision, but still, I mean, it's all interconnected with people
Right.
going in and out and out, so.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yes, and it sounds like we certainly need a detail in this area.
Right. But just following up, so JR, condition 19 will be expanded from notification to abutters to really notification of the entire community.
Yep.
Okay, great.
Excellent, thank you. Was there another comment or question? I can't see his name.
Just one quick thing to add to Denise. This is John Reed at 4 Holly Street. The bus stop is located at the intersection of Hawthorne and Sycamore. I know Bill was great in knowing the neighborhood very well and explaining that, but if we're also asked to move our cars off of our one street somewhere else, it is going to create a lot of backflow and fill in everywhere else on the other streets. There's really not many options there to leave your car somewhere else down the street without causing more interference. So, but I think the bus stop, and as Denise said, the kids coming and going, it's about 20 students that go to and from the buses every day, that without the sidewalks being there, that it's important that they are safe to get home.
Yes,
Yep.
thank you. Okay, so again, JR, we'll just be sure to coordinate with the school department and those bus times. I know it sounds like 6:50 a.m. for the middle school, and then the elementary school, I'm sure, is a little bit later. Right, probably around 8. So we can coordinate that.
Yeah, roughly 8 o'clock.
Okay. All right, excellent. Thank you for the feedback. Any other questions or comments? Okay, I'm ready to take a motion.
I'll move to approve the request of National Grid to install and maintain approximately 1,700 feet of 2-inch gas main in Hawthorne Road, Sycamore Lane, and Holly Street. The gas main in Hawthorne Road Street will originate at the intersection with Bradley Woods Drive and continuing northeasterly 560 feet in Hawthorne Road to the intersection with Holly Street. The gas main in Sycamore Lane will originate at the intersection with Hawthorne Road, continuing northwesterly 510 feet to the end of the main. The gas main in Holly Street will originate at the intersection with Hawthorne Road, continuing northwesterly 630 feet to the end of the main. This approval is subject to the stipulations of the Department of Public Works as outlined in the letter dated June 30th, 2023, with such letter to be amended in accordance with the discussions this evening.
Second.
Roll call vote. Joe?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. It passes unanimously. Excellent, thank you. Next on the agenda is to consider the request of National Grid to install and maintain approximately 4,975 feet of 6-inch gas main in Main Street. The gas main in Main Street will originate at 774 Main Street, continuing southerly 4,975 feet to 982 Main Street.
Okay, so this is a more significant effort. It's both in length and in terms of the street that we are dealing with. And if you can give me one moment. There we go. So this is essentially installing nearly a mile of 6-inch gas main in Main Street. This work will commence at the intersection of Cushing, South Pleasanton, Maine, and it will continue to approximately 982 Main Street. So for those of you that have been paying attention, this is a continuation of the work that National Grid did last year in Main Street. However, that work they were able to stay, for the most part, off to in the shoulder of the road and not within the lanes of travel. Because of the configuration of this section of Main Street, we are not able to do that. So because of that, and because of the impacts to travel on Route 228, National Grid will be required to complete this work overnight. That will be between the hours of 7 p.m. and 5 a.m. work being Sunday night through Friday morning. Now beyond that, most of the remaining conditions are consistent with the other work that we've talked about tonight in terms of maintaining, the ability of vehicles to pass by and allowing passage of emergency vehicles. There is less direct access along this roadway to abutters because it is not a residential neighborhood. So most of the intersections are either institutional, such as the schools and fire department, or street intersections. There are far fewer driveways through this piece. I know that I am sure that there will be some concern for this work occurring at night and how it might affect the butters. Unfortunately, there's very little that we can do, but on the other hand, for the most part, they might be in front of any particular house for a period of 2 to 3 days or 2 to 3 nights of work, and then they'd move on and the impacts would quickly diminish.
Okay.
Because of the length of pipe and because they'll be doing this work at night, we are talking a more significant, probably a longer duration. And so this may be, I would say, as much as 5 months of consistent work. If they choose to begin this work soon and try to get it in before we get any significant weather events, then they'd be pushing up against it right at the end. I didn't make specific mention of it, but they will be coordinating with the police details, and there will be a significant police detail component here. But obviously, they're going to have to keep their radios on and make sure that anything that's happening in front of the fire department is coordinated, or we may work with the fire department and have them move their equipment overnight to a nearby location where they'll operate out of if any of their driveways are inaccessible for any period of time.
Okay. Yes, because I know we're talking about the area of Maine in front of South School and the South Fire Station, as well as there are
Yes.
residents that live along there, but, okay. So it sounds like the sooner this can start, the better, and get it over with. Any questions, Joe?
Yeah, I do notice that there are houses of worship right along this path as well. Make sure that they are in the loop in terms of what the schedule is and minimize the disruptions there. So it's work that's got to get done. So
Yeah.
I understand it, but and it sounds like you're sensitive to the concerns, public safety, and the disruption to the neighbors. So I agree with Liz. The sooner the better we get this done.
Any questions, Bill?
Fair enough.
Did I hear you correct? Did you say this is gonna take 5 months?
I would say that it could take as much as 5 months, yes.
So it's gonna be 5 months of overnight work? What are the hours again?
7 p.m. to 5 a.m.
Wow, that's gonna really anger a lot of people on that roadway. I mean, we got quite a bit of complaints about the work that was done. Was it last year, JR? Farther down
2 years ago, we did. 2 years ago, National Grid worked on
Yeah.
East Street.
But there was work done in front of the barrel on Main too. I remember a couple of residents were emailing us about that.
I think most of the complaints there had to do with the quality of the patchwork. At least those were most of the complaints that yeah, okay.
I mean, I specifically remember a couple of noise complaints. You know, some resident was right in front of his house.
I mean,
I get why you went at night. And again, this is more toward Grid, not UJR, right? You're just kind of helping us out here. I get why they have to do it at night, because there's less traffic. It just seems like just a really long time for night work and in that area.
So, Bill, are you asking if there's anything that can be done to accelerate this?
Accelerated, or I mean, how necessary is the project? It just, I mean, it's a long time to be doing work, I mean, night work. I mean, imagine living on that street.
And Mary, do
that all night long.
you have experience mitigating the?
They shouldn't be
I think the
digging.
biggest mitigation is going to be distance. And by the time, like I was talking about, there will be, depending on the exact layout of the home and its relationship to the roadway, there will be 2 to 3 days or 2 to 3 nights that a particular residence might be impacted by the construction noise. But beyond that, they'll be moving down the road.
Right.
So the disruption, though it may be constant over a period of 5 months, it won't be constant at a particular residence. It'll be a kind of called a moving target as the work proceeds down the roadway.
What's the Bradley Woods pipe from 1941? That was the year the subdivision was built. How old is these pipes?
These pipes are 94 years old. It's the 6-inch pipe is replacing 2-inch bare steel that was put in 1929.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, and this is impacting the entrance into Liberty Pole. And
Yes.
so all of the community and traffic there.
It would impact whether it's at Grenadier or at Liberty Pole Road. It would impact that neighborhood, but I'll say on a periodic basis. So it won't be I would not anticipate either of those entrances actually being closed for any period of time. Unless they're running on that side of the road. If they're running the line on the west side of 228, then there would be a brief period of time where they might close one lane, either the ingress or the egress, and then they just work on one side of that, and they'd allow cars to go past them.
Right. And emergency
That's why
vehicles
we have
could
the
get
police
there.
details to make sure that we have both a safe working environment and safe interaction with vehicles that are trying to maneuver around them.
Yeah, when this work is done at night, what's left on the street in the morning? Is it the plates?
We don't even allow plates, so it has to be a smooth, drivable roadway surface. Now, it can be gravel up to the top of the trench, but then we do require that they pave their trench once a week. So by the end of the week, all the gravel is out and asphalt is in.
Okay, so it's repaired. I guess the pavement is repaired weekly.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. You know, I mean, I'd like to order it during the day, but I just know the volume of traffic on that road is problematic as well. I just, I mean, you, Jane, and you did a great job, addressing concerns, but yeah, I specifically got a lot of complaints from the residents about nighttime noise. But I don't really know what the better alternative is. Okay, I guess it's gotta be done. Now you said 1929?
1929. It was a great year. It's lasted a long time, but it has outlived its useful life.
Sure.
Yep.
I wasn't around in 1929, but maybe Joe can speak.
Let's move on.
Okay. Well, thank you for addressing the concerns, and certainly, Mary, anything else that can be done to mitigate it. We're obviously concerned about the residents in that area during that length of time. It
Right.
will be a significant disruption.
When would this start?
We'll apply for the permit and
Okay.
do it as soon as we can. But as I'm aware,
right.
and not that it's a 100% fact, but I think they'll make their cuts, dig it out, probably from 7 to 11 at
Right.
night. And then, they'll be putting in lengths of pipe, which you won't have the jackhammers, you won't have that later in the evening. I mean, they are aware that they're in front of people's homes.
Sure.
They try to do it as best they can.
Yes, thank you.
Could you just note for your calendar that, so this route is the route that many Hingham residents will take to the synagogue, and they're the Jewish high holidays in September.
Correct.
Yeah, so just make sure that you're aware of likely high traffic times.
Does that traffic extend into the evening?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's primarily in the evening.
Okay. So yeah, we can make a note of that.
Yep.
Okay. And then again, coordinate with the school and obviously the
Right.
fire department, because there are some evening events in the fall. So be conscious of that with South School. Okay. I'm ready to take a motion. Sounds like this is our best solution to this problem.
I make a motion to approve the request of National Grid to install and maintain approximately 4,975 feet of 6-inch gas main in Main Street. The gas main in Main Street will originate at 774 Main Street, continuing southerly 4,975 feet to 982 Main Street. This approval is subject to the stipulations of the Department of Public Works as outlined in the letter dated June 30th, 2020.
Second.
Roll call vote. Joe?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. Passes unanimously. Thank you, Mary, for being
Thank you
here
very
and
much.
answering
Thanks
our
for your time.
questions.
Thank you.
And thank you for taking such diligent notes. I could see that you were
Yes.
you were noting the issues that we raised, so we appreciate it.
Oh,
Yeah.
they get folded.
Thank you.
Because I'm the one coming back.
Okay. Thank you.
So make sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, JR.
Thank you, JR.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
I know, we have a lot of work ahead of us, JR, so thank you in advance too for coordinating all of this. Next on the agenda is FY '23 year-end transfers if needed. Michelle, none
Not
are
needed.
Okay, very good. Next on the agenda are appointments. I think we have a few this evening. As everyone probably knows, we've been doing a series of talent bank interviews. I've been always impressed with the caliber of volunteers. We're so incredibly lucky. We have a few appointments I think we'd like to make tonight, and we're still working through this process to fill all of the vacancies as quickly as possible. I would, do you want me to start?
If you don't mind
Okay.
taking the lead.
Sure. Okay. It's not even in order. Okay. It's really testing us here. Okay. I will make a motion to appoint Stephen Sadler as an alternate member to the Historic Districts Commission. No, that's not right.
That can't be.
As the planning board's designee? No,
So do we have a planning board designee?
I think it's this person.
Yeah, trying to get me a
Sorry. Yep, my mistake. Okay. I'll make a motion to reappoint Mary Ann Donaldson as an alternate member to the Historic Districts Commission as the planning board's designee for a 3-year term ending June 30th, 2026.
Second.
Roll call vote. Joe?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. Okay.
Where's, I didn't even see the Lincoln.
It's not on here. Okay.
Do you have the name?
Nope. Okay, I'll make a motion to appoint Mike Sutton to the Affordable Housing Trust for a 3-year term ending June 30th, 2026.
Second.
Roll call vote. Joe?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. That passes unanimously. I will make a motion to appoint Arthur Robert to the Commission on Disabilities as the elected or appointed town official to fill an unexpired term ending June 30th, 2024.
Second.
Roll call vote. Joe?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. That passes unanimously.
Arthur, congratulations.
Thank you, Art.
Thank
Okay.
Council on Aging.
I will make a motion to appoint Leon Marion to the Council on Aging for a 3-year term ending June 30th, 2026.
Second.
Roll call vote. Joe?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. That passes unanimously. I will make a motion to appoint Kate Shembry to the Cultural Council for a 3-year term ending June 30th, 2026.
Second.
Roll call vote. Joe?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. That passes unanimously. I will also make a motion to appoint Kathleen Nugent to the Cultural Council for a 3-year term ending June 30th, 2026.
Second.
Roll call vote. Joe?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. Passes unanimously.
I can do the next
Sure.
one. I think I got this right.
Okay.
I move to appoint Jeannie Ingram to the Historical Commission for a 3-year term ending June 30, 2026.
Second.
Roll call vote. Joe?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. Passes
And I
unanimously.
can do the next one to move to appoint Kevin Warren to the Historical Commission for a 3-year term ending June 30, 2026.
Second.
Roll call vote. Joe?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. Passes unanimously.
I'll give you the next one.
Okay. I will make a motion to appoint Eric Schmazinski to the Historic Districts Commission to fill an unexpired term ending June 30th, 2024.
Second.
Roll call vote. Joe?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. Passes unanimously. I will make a motion to appoint Stephen Sadler as the at-large alternate member of the Historic Districts Commission to fill an unexpired term ending June 30th, 2024.
Second.
Roll call vote. Joe?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. Okay, Shade Tree. I will make a motion to appoint Eliza Fatines to the Shade Tree Committee to fill an unexpired term ending June 30th, 2024.
Second.
A roll call vote. Joe?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. Passes unanimously. Okay, I think that's it for tonight. Do you have any other appointments?
No, I think in part, we hold off making appointments until we've actually been able to talk to some folks. So if you were expecting to be appointed, it's not an indication that it's not happening, but the communication needs to be completed on our end.
Yes, thank you. So yes, some more interviews are happening, some more conversations are happening to make sure we're matching people with their preferences. as well as the moderator is going through the process of doing his appointments to advisory committee as well as some other committees. Okay, next on the agenda is public comment. Do you have any members of the public who wish to make a comment? Seeing none. Okay, next on the agenda is town administrator and select board reports. Art, do you want to start?
I have nothing to add this evening. Thank you.
Okay, Michelle?
I have one item. So I've been working with our assessing and elder services teams to conduct outreach about the senior means tested tax exemption. So we just wanted to highlight that at the Hingham Center for Active Living, the Hingham Senior Center, there'll be an event next Thursday, July 20th at 12:30. It'll be kind of like a lunch and learn event for people to come in and learn more about this tax exemption that the town put in place a few years ago, that town meeting just extended permanently. And Josh Ross from the Board of Assessors will be there to kind of do a presentation. Aaron Walsh will be there supporting as well. So anyone who is interested should feel free to come, eat some food, and learn more about tax relief.
Excellent, thank you. Tom?
Sure, I have a few things to report out. First, I'll do the special 1 days that I issued in the past couple of weeks.
Great.
First one, I issued one to Vitamin C Brewing for sunset picnics at the Weir River Farm. That first one was held on July 6th. The next will be Thursday, July 13th from 6 to 9. There was not a detail required for that, just so you know. Also, I issued 1 day license to Barrel House Z LLC for the sunset picnics also at Weir River Farm on Thursday, July 20th, July 27th, August 3rd, and August 10th. Again, 6 to 9 p.m. And again, no police detail was required. So those are, we started noting them, Joe, as you requested last time, in advance of issuance. As soon as they're dropped off, I wait 48 hours. I'll approve them, provided no significant feedback, and then they get removed from the temporary or pending into the active, and then once the event is held, they're removed from that page. So that's all through the town administrative page on the website. Also, a couple of other things. I just wanted to let everyone know that this is here in July. This is often our heavy hiring month. Which is a great thing. We're looking forward to doing this, especially with the override passing this past spring. We now have to catch up on some lingering hirings that have been pending for a while. We are actively seeking a conservation officer and GIS coordinator, heavy equipment operator, and a few other DPW roles. There are several more to come from there: an assistant engineer, administrative assistant for our veterans office, the assistant water superintendent, and several others will be following that. So this is a good time of year, a very busy time of year, but we're bringing in new people onto the team, which is exciting.
Excellent.
Also wanted to note just a little bit of a sad note. I wanted to report the passing of Mark License. Earlier this week, Mark he is a recent retiree. He was a longtime employee of both the DPW and the South Shore Country Club. I've spoken with many of his colleagues over the past several weeks, and each of them, or all of them, have relayed several stories, but all intended to highlight Mark's dedication to the town. As recently as a couple of weeks ago, after a chemo treatment, he was coming home at 9 p.m., noted someone had stolen one of the golf carts from the country club, and Mark chased them down and returned the cart after getting it back to the DPW. And this was as recently as 2 weeks ago. So dedication ran deep with Mark. He'll be greatly missed. His colleagues are very saddened by his passing, and he'll be missed by the town. So please keep him in your thoughts.
Yes, thank you, Tom. Certainly, we're thinking of his family. Joe?
Nothing to report, but I do note that the town has been running short-staffed. And so really appreciate, Tom, your efforts in keeping things together and making sure that we have adequate staff to support the needs of the residents. So thank you.
That is certainly one of our goals. Yeah, to get those positions filled as quickly as possible with the right people. So thank you. Bill?
I just going to make a comment. Last Tuesday was a wonderful July 4th celebration. Want to thank Mark Farrell, the Rec Commission, and all the volunteers who made the the road race such a tremendous success. We had just shy of 2,000 runners participate in the road race. I also want to thank Jim Murphy, the entire parade committee, and all the volunteers associated with the parade for making it, another wonderful parade. Even in the rain, it was still a great event. And I know that, the police department, fire department, DPW, all contributed to that effort as well. So, another great celebration in Hingham, and my appreciation to everybody who made it happen.
Yes, thank you for saying that, Bill. It certainly takes a lot of people, staff and volunteers to pull that off, and it's a really special community event, so thank you. Anything else? Okay, I will take a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Roll call vote. Joe?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. We are adjourned at 8:07 p.m. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.